led to the resignation of former President Richard Nixon. Bob Woodward, the author of the new book War, and Carl Bernstein, author of Chasing History. Bob, let me start with you. You've interviewed Trump at least 20 times, and I know recently you said that the former president is far worse than Richard Nixon. Obviously, a majority of voters were not concerned. I'm wondering what you thought last night as you watched results come in. What do you think of where we're at right now?
Well, it's the functioning of democracy. So he's president-elect. There are lots of things to watch in what will be the new Trump administration. I just want to cite one of them, and that is the relationship Trump has with Putin, the Russian leader. I talked a couple of months ago to Dan Coates, the former director of national intelligence under Trump, and I said, what's going on in this relationship between Trump and Putin? And Dan Coates said, it's so close, it seems like it might be blackmail. CIA Director Bill Burns said, Putin manipulates. He's professionally trained to do that. Putin's got a plan just to be, to do this exactly when Trump, and it's what he did when Trump was in office previously, and he's planning it again at playing Trump. So there is much to watch, particularly in that relationship.
Carl, obviously, the whatever problems the transition had the first time around in the new Trump administration, it seems like they've fought those out, they've learned from mistakes, and this will be far more, maybe, perhaps at least, it seems like it may be more efficient in the transition with no, if they have the Senate, if they have the House, obviously the Supreme Court, what do you make of what this administration might be like?
Well, you've correctly pointed out that he has, Trump now has institutional memory and knows how to use the levers of the presidency fairly effectively. But the real question is a philosophical, moral, constitutional, and legal one, and that is, how is he going to use the immense powers of the President of the United States? He is someone whose life has been spent in retribution, seeking grievances to get attention to himself, to get his position favored through these grievances, going after his enemies. This was a campaign for president that was about enemies he has threatened, that he wants to bring to heel and into courtrooms what he calls the enemies from within, including the press, including members of the military who were his chiefs of staff, etc. The question is, he has this tremendous mandate to do good. He has been elected by this incredible margin. And let's hope that there are two Donald Trumps, that he will use these enormous powers in a constitutional way. I don't have any illusions about what it is he seeks to do in terms of his policies, but there are ways to do it legally. And in his first term, he went the other way. And so I think the hope has to be that somehow, maybe in his early days here, he'll read the Constitution of the United States and use it to help attain his goals.
And joining us now is Deirdre Schiefling, the Chief Political and Advocacy Officer for the ACLU. Deirdre, thanks for coming in. We just heard from some children of undocumented immigrants talk about their fear of a second Trump administration. What do you say to those who are worried that there's nothing really that can be done to stop a potentially more aggressive and potentially more effective Trump?
Yeah, well, I would just remind folks that in the first Trump administration, the ACLU filed more than 400 legal actions to stop Trump's illegal and unconstitutional and, frankly, immoral attacks on immigrant communities, things like the Muslim ban, things like family separation, tearing children away from their parents at the border as some sort of form of immigration deterrent, as well as attacks on other communities, LGBT communities, discrimination against women. So the ACLU is going to be on the front lines this time around. We are ready. We have a firewall for freedom. We have a plan. We have litigators across this country. We have advocates. We have organizers. We have millions of supporters who stand ready to defend immigrant communities.
Where do you begin?
I mean, I think we've already started. We started a year ago preparing for a possible second Trump administration, researching Project 2025, understanding what their plans would be and how we can stop them.
You said you're staffing up, you're working with states as well, so not just within your organization. Beyond immigration, of course, one of the big issues we've discussed all throughout the campaign is reproductive rights. And Donald Trump has said he would not support a federal ban on abortion rights, although